Hello everybody, welcome to Science 10. Our first unit that we're going to be looking at is physics. I'm Mrs. Matt.
And I'm Mrs. White.
And we're actually both going to be teaching this whole course. So you're going to be hearing some of what I have to say in some of these videos, and then Mrs. White's going to be doing some of them, which means that if you can't find one of us, you can always just run to the other one, and that is absolutely okay. So as the first video here, make sure that you're taking your time. Pause it, rewind. If you need to stop and go back, please do so. That's what this is all about. So the first thing we have to talk about is in physics, it's really important to know what is significant when we're talking about numbers, because if you're using the wrong number or you're not rounding it correctly, then that can screw up your whole thing. So rounding in science is a little bit different than what we've learned about before. We're going to talk about something called significant digits. And these are all measured values that have a certain degree of precision and error. So what we basically do is we take the numbers that count the most and we get rid of the rest. So if you look at those two numbers there, 1.2 and 1.2483724, of those two, which one's more accurate? And actually in science, the one that's more accurate is the 1.2. Those are the most significant numbers or significant digits. So if you're looking at measuring something like that, either on a scale or a ruler, you want to make sure that you're only looking at the numbers that make the most sense or that are the most significant. So in this ruler here, if you look at the arrow, it's pointing to the mark that is halfway between 1 and 2. So that value would be 1.5. All of those marks that are in between count as a portion of that centimeter, and there's 5 lines in between. So we have 1.5 centimeters. Now, same thing with the thermometer. If we're taking a look at this thermometer, we've got degrees Celsius, obviously in Canada. In the States, you'd have Fahrenheit. The thermometer right now, if we didn't have this cheater number on the bottom here, you'd notice that there are degrees going up of 10. Those are the numbers there. And in between, just like with the centimeters, you have those lines that tell you in between how many single centimeters or single Celsius you have. So if we move the line here on our thermometer down a little bit lower, you go down again, we have minus 20, and we go down 3 to 4 more lines, so we have minus 24 degrees Celsius. Okay, so of significant digits, we'd only have 2, because we have the first and that second number there. Now, when you're looking at your significant digits, not all of the numbers count. They're not all significant. So there's 3 rules, and these are really important to write down, that tell us which numbers are significant. So basically, all the numbers between 1 and 9 are significant all the time. So the number 15, both the 1 and the 5 are significant. Same with the number 123. The 1, the 2, and the 3 are all significant because they're all numbers between 1 and 9. Now number 2, leading zeros are not significant. So if you have zeros before the number, those don't count. So if we look at our 2 examples here, 3, 5, and 6 are significant because they're between 1 and 9. The 0 is not, so we don't count it. Same with that second number here. The 3, the 5, and the 6 are between 1 and 9. Rule number 1, that all the ones before it do not count because they are leading. Now, for number 3, trailing zeros, so numbers that are after, are significant. Okay, so if you have numbers after, or zeros after your original number, they do count. And the reason is because let's say you have a meter stick and you have measured to, on your centimeter scale, to, let's say, 10 centimeters. Okay, we know that that 0 is significant because if we take it off, okay, we don't know if it's rounded incorrectly or to a certain number, so we know exactly 10 centimeters is that end 0, or that end 0 counts. So that number is significant. So here, our 356 is significant, as well as the zeros that come after it. Now with our second number, our 356 are significant. The ones that come after are still significant, those trailing zeros. But again, these ones, not so much. Okay, remember, for number 2, leading zeros are not significant. Now, so if we try these out, we take a look at our first number, okay, 1, 3, and 2. Now, the numbers after them are trailing zeros, or they're afterwards, so those do count. So the first set here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 significant digits, or we also call them significant figures. For our second number here, we have 5 significant digits. For our third number here, all of our numbers that are between 1 and 9 are significant, but these first ones, because they're leading, are not. So for our third number here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 significant digits. Okay, for our fourth number here that we've got, the 0 before, this one it's a leading 0, so it is not. We don't count it, but the rest of these here are. So we have 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 significant digits. All of these numbers in our next here are all between 1 and 9, so they count, as well as our 21.00. Again, those are trailing zeros, so they are significant. Okay, now again, this is very important. This is something that's really good to write down. There are two ways when we're adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. Adding and subtracting has the same rules when you're trying to find significant digits, and multiplying and dividing have its own separate set of rules. So make sure that you know the difference between the two. Now, for rule number 1, when you're adding and subtracting, the final answer must have the same number of decimal places. That's important. At the least, or at the value in the calculation with the least number of decimal places. So again, rule number 1, when adding and subtracting, the final answer must have the same number of decimal places at the value in the calculation with the least number. So if we take a look at their two numbers that we're adding, 1.5 has one significant digit after the decimal. 5.2 also has one significant digit after our decimal. So our final answer is only going to have one significant digit after our decimal. Okay, so 1.5 plus 5.2 is 6.7, and we don't need to change it. It's already in the right value. Okay, and we will practice this later, so don't worry. For rule number 2, when you're multiplying and dividing, this is different. Okay, so don't treat them the same. So the final answer has the same number of decimal places in total. So all of the significant digits, all of the numbers in your examples count. It's not just the numbers after the decimal place. So when we look at our first question here, 1.5 has two significant digits. They're both numbers between 1 and 9. 5.2, it's the same. Okay, you have two significant digits. We're looking at the whole number this time, remember. So our final answer, 7.8, is good. It's already in its how many significant digits we should have, those two significant digits. Now, in Science 10, you're going to see more questions that look like number 2. Okay, so you're going to have to figure out first how many significant digits you have in both of the numbers that you're given, and then do the math, and then at the end, you change it. So 1.23 has 3 significant digits, 3 numbers that are significant. 54.321 has 5 significant digits. Okay, so if we look at these two, the one that has the least amount would be our first number here. So our final answer will only have 3 numbers in it. Okay, so we times these together, we end up with 66.81483. So our final answer can only have those 3 significant digits. So we look here, 6, 6, and 8 are going to stay. We look at our next number. It is less than 5, so we're going to keep our 8 at the same number. We're not going to round it up. We're going to keep it where it is. Now, for the last part of this lesson, we're going to do some practice, and I'm going to do 2 with you to start off with, and then please complete the rest of the questions on your piece of paper, and then we'll go over them tomorrow. So, for these problems here, I'm just going to get out my handy-dandy pen, green. Now, for addition and subtraction, remember we're only concerned about the numbers that are after that decimal place. Right? So we only have one number after our decimal place in both cases. So we know our final answer is only going to have one number after the decimal place. So we do our addition first. Our answer in our calculator, and this is going to be interesting because I'm using my mouse, 25.4 when we add those two together. And now the second part of using significant digits is rounding to the significant digits that are, again, most significant. So we only have one that's after this one here anyway, one digit that's after our decimal point. So the answer is going to be the same, 25.4. Okay? 25.4. Now, that is different, addition and subtraction is different from multiplication and division. So if we go down here to number 6, we see we have 15.25 and 15.123. Now remember, with multiplying and dividing, the rule is different. We're not just looking at the numbers after the decimal place, we're looking at all of them. Okay, so how many numbers, we have to think about, how many numbers do we have in the entire value? So for the first one here, we have 4 significant digits. In our second number here, we have 5. Okay, we don't have any zeros, and all of our numbers are between 1 and 9. So we think about, okay, which one has the least number? So if we have 4 and 5, obviously our answer here would be 4. So our final answer, after we do our math, is going to only have 4 significant digits left in that number. So first we do the math, and over here we end up with a number 230. So 230.62575. Okay, and so what we'll do from there is we will take that number and we are going to round it to the 4 most significant digits. So the 2, the 3, and the 0 stay. The 6 also stays, but we have to look at the next number after that. The number after it is a 2. It's less than 5, so if we're rounding our number, our 6 is going to stay the same. Now if that 2 was 5 or higher, we would round the 6 up to a 7. Okay, but as it is, our answer here is just going to be 230.6.